So once we've configured the input connector, we can go ahead and configure the output connector. So in this case, it's Salesforce. So you just click on the Salesforce icon. That brings up the configuration form for the Salesforce connector. And again, as with the input connector and as with all connectors, you have this option to basically select from one or more accounts, and you can add them there as well. So we've already added an account here, but you can add more. So you just add in the parameters. So the parameters to connect to Salesforce are there: username, password, and a security token. You can modify existing ones. And then of course you need to actually select, in this case, the Salesforce object. And what this is kind of the trigger, I guess, that on the target service or app. So in the case of a database, you'd have to configure a database name and a table name and other information about putting the data into a database. But in this case, for Salesforce, we need to select an object, and we're going to select a contact object. Okay, so we bring up the list of objects here and scroll down and get contact. Select from that. Once you select the actual object, it's going to basically get information about that object, the fields, etc. And it's going to provide these additional tabs here. Add an update tab allows you to control how you want your data added or updated in Salesforce, how you want that contact added or updated on Salesforce. And then this data mapping tab, which is what we want to focus on in this video, is where we actually do the data mapping from the fields in the Wufoo form in this case. So the fields coming from the input, to mapping the data to the fields in the output, so the fields in our contact object in Salesforce. And it's really a simple process. You just basically go to each individual field and select the little arrow here, and this brings up the fields, then a drop down with the fields from the input, which is the Wufoo form in this case, and we can select last name, and then for first name we can do first name, and you can just continue on like that. So you can use a search here as well. So let's find the email. Where's the email field? We can select in email, and then that's basically it. There's this other button here. You can try that yourself. That's just basically what we do there is just try to provide a quick way of mapping a group of fields in one go. So it'll try and find fields where the names match up. So the fields in the Wufoo form match up with the fields in the Salesforce in this case, and you can just kind of speed up the mapping process. So now we've the mapping done, and we're ready to actually start this integration.